So this is James's deck supper on August the 16th, 2018. And it's sauerkraut, some pickled carrots with calendula to hide the fact that they look disgusting, corn, chili, and a salad made with kale. So, but it does have a balsamic and extra virgin olive oil dressing, so it shouldn't be too bad. And the garlic toast, yeah, I charbroiled that, but...
That's good. That means it looks as though we grilled it out on a, on a barbecue outside. So.
Yeah. So as it turns out, our friend Bob is joining us. So come on over, Bob.
See, you've got the same thing there, Bob. Check that out.
We got the same meal that James.
We can
did.
pretend it's a barbecue.
Does that put me on the same level as
yes.
James?
Yes.
Could be.
In at least in somebody's regard, whoever.
Yeah. So second favorite color, Bob.
I beg your pardon?
Second favorite color.
I heard Bob's
Purple.
favorite was light green.
Well, grass green. Purple.
Grass green?
Holy smokes. You know, Bob.
Those are like villain,
combination,
comic book villain colors.
Not so much villain. The villains that are kind of cute. Like Mr. Mixelpink or whatever his name is. I think that's
Very nice.
So,
You're welcome.
people who got that, Bob, going as their favorite color, irresponsible charm.
Ah.
Irresponsible charm. You think that characterizes you?
Are you charming?
And irresponsibly so.
I like to avoid responsibility.
You said that in a very charming manner.
That's so.
So that would be a yes.
I would think possibly, yes.
Gotta have fun sometimes.
Yeah.
So what colors do you think my favorites are?
What are your favorite colors?
Yeah, what do you think?
I'm thinking, well, you're liking blue.
Well, not necessarily what I wear. Not necessarily.
Well, I think that's what I possibly used in reference to making a first evaluation because he was wearing blue, but then
It's a good guess.
but blue is very much a
It's a common favorite
preferred
color.
well,
Yeah.
yes, because most people relate to a blue sky with positive feelings, and I mean when the sun's shining and there's no storm or there's nothing, and the sky and everything's calm, and you look up and you see the birds flying. It's always a blue sky, and you relate more readily and more positively to the color blue, especially the pale blue and something
Brighter blue, I think. Yeah.
right.
Almost like Superman's blue. Maybe a little darker. Not navy.
Well, that dark blue uniform was only to differentiate and make him stick out from that sky blue background, you know, that he's always flying in.
Yeah, it seems to be flying to it, yeah.
Yeah, betcha. And you have to be able to pick him out. So that you're not going to make him sky blue. Exactly.
No, my favorite color is orange-red.
Orange-red.
Yeah.
And
Orangey kind of really red.
And that's
really like a hue.
And that's the
Ultimate
opposite, complementary to the blue. You know,
I think we'd say more complementary to
well,
red, wouldn't we? Or green.
Well, the bluish gray. Well, the thing is, it's orange. The complementary colors, like the opposite.
Orange and purple, right?
It's orange and blue.
Yeah, you're right. Yellow and purple.
It's yellow and purple, yes.
Red
And,
and
and red and green, right? Of course, for Christmas.
So what do you think my second
I've
favorite
got to
color
come
is?
over for supper more often. perfect.
Sure. It's usually earlier than this, but
Well,
yeah.
well, the thing is that I'm occupied, and this is just above, any
Well,
sort of
I
egg.
try to have a lot of different courses to keep James healthy. So I try to do my best.
I feel sort of
I didn't
spoiled.
whip that up well enough, I guess.
No. Well, listen. Did you hear me? Any sort of? I'm still excited over.
Okay. So you don't mind a huge leaf of kale?
No.
in
It's
your
a
salad?
matter of I enjoy sort of roughing through it.
Yeah.
I mean, and feeling it, and having everything sort of cut to bite size doesn't allow me to really get involved in it so much. Like, and the variety or the choice. There's so many things like here. It's usually meat and potatoes, maybe with one vegetable on the side.
Whoa, that wasp really likes my corn.
Yeah, it looks like a flower. Or maybe it's just a food.
The cat's probably looking at his wristwatch right now and wondering where I am.
Who is? Oh, yeah.
Let's see,
What's his name?
Joe.
Joe?
Yeah.
Jeffrey, isn't it?
Joe.
Joel? This is a different one.
Joey.
Joe.
It's Joe.
I can't keep track of things, I guess.
I've had him now for
No wonder he's freaked out every time I come by and call him Jeffrey.
Yeah.
It's like, what in the world?
I think I think you called him Joe.
I think so. Don't think I ever have.
This is the live babe, huh?
This is the what?
The live.
Yeah, James loves corn.
I thought you said this is alive.
It's alive too. It'll keep you alive.
it was-
Not
I was-
anymore. I boiled it
Well,
to
the
death.
thing is though, it's also good and like so much of an assortment and just kind of special. Of course, everything that's a little bit different is special. That's the beauty of just being alive.
See, this is the way people should be eating all the time. You got the time to get it together.
Didn't take me too long. How long were you guys grabbing?
It's quite a while, actually.
But it doesn't.
I lose track of these
seem. It doesn't seem long
Yeah.
because when you're involved in
Mhm.
talking, it goes by a little faster. But
I'm a little more exhausted. I got exhausted cheering for the Oilers tonight. I mean, it was 20 years ago, but still cheering. It's a close game. Wasn't sure if they were going to win.
Well, I think you'd be pretty, like, you might not know, but then you'd be sure because this is, isn't that DVD, the Oilers' greatest
10
games or
greatest
something.
games.
Yeah, exactly. So
Well, I know exactly.
every single
The one
game,
every
they're
year.
gonna what are they gonna surprise you and throw a loser game at you?
No.
Like,
I know which years they won anyway, right?
mm,
These tend to be games that they won when they won the Stanley Cup, right?
mhm.
They won in 84, 85. Missed an 86 one, it was 87, 88. Missed an 89. Won in 90, see? So I know it.
I don't know how
Exactly.
you can relate to certain things and attach a date to it.
Different, huh?
Well, the thing is,
You probably know that sort of thing with baseball, don't you? With the Blue Jays stuff, because that's your thing.
Who did you cheer for before the Blue Jays came on? Expos?
oh yes,
And then before the Expos, when did they start? 69?
okay, yeah, in '60, actually, the Expos came out in '67, I think,
Somewhere.
with the centennial year.
Somewhere around there.
'Cause
So, before then, who did you cheer for? LA Dodgers?
I went to Boston.
Carl Yeslemski.
I'm afraid so. My
Won the Triple
My
Crown
dad-
in 67.
my dad was a Yankee fan
Oh my God.
since for all his life.
You were cheering for the Forces of Darkness. when you
And
went
so
to
the
Boston.
thing is, I always had to sort of disagree with Dad.
You know who Babe Ruth started off with as a pitcher?
I think Boston. wasn't it?
Boston.
Yeah.
They called it the Ruth curse, I think. They
Right.
separated him over to the Yankees, and the rest is history.
hmm
The Yankees won something like, I don't know, 25 championships. And Boston never
Yeah.
got around to winning one after that trade. It's probably
Right.
almost 90 years.
There was a curse with.
It must have been tough going through the
attached to Babe.
50s. Your dad would have just been going nuts. The Yankees were there every time. They won almost every time.
hmm
Mickey Mantle was going nuts. Roger Maris, worldwide.
Yeah. Dad loved the Yankees.
Yogi Berra, I think he was on
Oh yeah.
11 series
Yogi,
winning teams.
yeah, Yogi Berra and all his famous sayings and that. Like
You bet. It ain't over till it's
that's
over.
right.
I
And
think that was him. Ain't over till the fat lady sings. It's either him or Casey Stengel who said that.
no, it was Yogi Berra that
Okay.
said it ain't over till it's over.
How about it ain't over till the fat lady sings?
I don't. I've heard it, but I don't know whether
Yeah.
he's the source of it.
Yeah. How about it's deja vu all over again? You think that was him?
That could be Yogi.
I think he was a
God,
lot smarter than he sounded.
I think, well, but the thing is, I think he enjoyed being quoted, and the thing is that it just came to him so naturally, just saying that,
Yeah.
making that simple, obvious statement
Yeah.
that.
I think he probably knew how to handle pitchers, though. Catchers is usually the smartest player on the team. Right?
They know what's going on.
They better.
They're
They
aware.
better. Yeah.
They've got
They got to read the
everything.
pitcher.
they've got everything within their field of vision
Yeah.
from behind the plate. And the thing is, they know where the infielders should be, according to each and every pitcher,
Yeah.
or not the pitcher, but each and every batter.
Yeah. Each and every pitch, really.
And well, the thing is, well,
Because the situation
that's right.
changes, right?
Well, yes. I mean,
If it's a 3-2 count, someone's going to be swinging away, right?
well, if it's the 3-2 count, it depends on who's on base
You're exactly right.
And,
And, like who's the batter, right?
and who's the batter and how they pitch under those conditions.
Yeah.
I mean, with a 3-2 count, I mean, usually the guy's going to come in he's going to want to come in with a strike, depending on all. If the bases are loaded, he has to.
Exactly.
And the thing is, and it's going to be usually a fastball because
you're not going to throw a curveball.
Well, the thing is, you've got more control. You've got more control over the fastball, and it's
plus you're depending on an umpire's call. You don't want to be in that situation where you're depending on an umpire. To a large extent, it's a matter of convention as to whether that ball is falling. And you know how a curve kind of drops as much as it curves, right?
The thing is, they know. I mean, the catcher knows each and every umpire like the back of his hand. He should. I mean, and so the thing is, he knows the likelihood, just the percentages. Well, with his pitcher, and where he throws the ball, he knows how accurate he is, whether he can do inside plate over the middle or outside the plate.
Exactly right.
On the outside. And the thing is, psychologically, the umpire is usually going to call a fastball, which is straight. If it's anywhere within, a strike.
Yeah.
But the thing is also the catcher also has to know where the pitcher is going to put the ball.
Well, he
doesn't.
Especially if there's guys on base.
Because the thing is, he doesn't want to have to move his glove at all.
If there's a guy on first, no one on second. For one thing, you want a fastball coming at you.
Well,
right?
the thing is, if it's a 3-2 count, you don't want to have to move your glove because you want to convince the umpire that this is exactly where
there's so
you
much
want
of that
it.
Involved. Exactly.
There's so much psychology involved in placement.
Now, sometimes if that guy misses his spot, you don't want to move it up. You've seen it. They'll catch it here and whip it right there. It's so cute the way they do it. They're very good at it.
It's important. It's important that the pitcher hits the mark.
Yep. But some guys, like some of those chuckers, you see more and more nowadays. They're getting up around 100 clicks, 100 miles an hour. They're just happy with getting over the base. But you remember a guy called Jim Palmer? I think he probably had a pretty good fastball. But when he was on his game, he was just nibbling around the edges, right? Mixing the stuff up, curves, fastballs, whatever, occasional change-up and stuff like that. Just juking around the guys. The change-up's incredible. You'll see these guys. They've got the pitch. They know roughly where it's coming. All of a sudden, it just arrives this much too late, and they look like fools, right? They're already, the bat is already round there, and it's planted in the earth, right? And then all of a sudden, you hear the plop of it coming into the fading plop going to the catcher's head,
the
right?
beauty of the changeup is the surprise, because the thing is, you gotta throw it when they least expect it. So the things, it's such a psych thing, you you gotta read minds, you gotta know pitchers, you gotta know batters, and it's the catcher, has to know more than anybody else. He has to be aware of everything, of where, he's looking at the outfield and the infield before the ball's thrown. If somebody's not playing in the right, it should position, you know.
Well, you come out and talk to the pitcher, but what you're really doing is giving them time to adjust, right? We do all sorts of stuff.
And there's
Did I not put enough dressing
on the salad?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just starting. I've been steeping the kale in it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Not bad. I'm tasty. Not bad.
What?
I'm going to have to come back tomorrow night.
Hey.
No, I'm going to have to tell Debbie, you know.
Oh, so she could show up too.
Well, night's maybe not the best time to turn up, right?
Yeah, I go to bed really early.
This is well past your bedtime.
Yeah, I'm usually asleep already
9:30?
an hour. It's 9.
No.
Yeah,
It's
I wake early, so.
She'll go to. It's rare for her to go to bed after it.
Really?
Yeah.
This is true. Early to bed, early to rise, makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's what my dad used to say. Well, he used to say, man.
I don't know. Wealthy.
The wealth part ain't working out.
No, but you never know. I mean, you just keep plugging away and
But there's no doubt about the wise and healthier than it would be otherwise. Right?
Yeah. So. I'm wiser every day because of you.
Well,
did I hurt you when I did that?
No. No, it's just because you read.
Okay, well, there's that too. Yeah, but you know, my spelling still, I don't know.
Because
I look at a word and I'm like, is that right?
No, your spelling's so much better. It's incredible.
Because you talk to him and you're asking him questions. And so he is imparting his knowledge.
Well, it helps a lot because honestly, most of what I knew came from books. And like you will say that fiction is overrated in comparison to actually reading non-fiction books and stuff like that.
Absolutely. People read, most people who think that they're really, really smart, you know, like in the humanities and stuff like that, don't read enough non-fiction. They got no clue.
Okay.
So there you go.
So, but most of the vocabulary that I have is due to reading fiction, most of it, honestly. And I don't know how to pronounce the words because I've just read them. And I guess I've never bothered to look them up in a dictionary. I've just read them and figured them out through the context or whatever. And
when I study a language, it's well, I guess that's true.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true.
If I come across a word that's unfamiliar to me in a story, whatever it is I'm reading, I'll look it up. I want to see what
how it's pronounced. So
I want to see what it means first of all.
Yeah.
I want to see how it's pronounced, and and usually stopping to look at it and looking it up. You'll remember it, or you're more likely to.
Well, that's probably a good idea, but most of the time I can figure out, or I guess I have been able to.
Yeah, within its context, you've got a good idea, and you can make a fairly intelligent guess as to what this means.
And so I just went through life, and I keep coming across the word, and I have this idea in my head of how it's pronounced. But then James will actually use it in a sentence, and I'll have to stop for a minute and think.
You have to say,
"Oh, that's that word."
Really?
Yeah, because in my mind, I've pronounced it differently,
right,
or whatever. As
And you know the trouble. You know, the thing is, even though it's small, it's a thing where you say, okay. So that's the way it's spelled, so it should sound like this. And so, and if you attach a certain pronunciation to it, and it's wrong. And the thing is, you do it to yourself, you do it by yourself, you do it to yourself, and you haven't mentioned it to anybody. And then what happens? You might carry on for months, years, whatever, with doing this, you know, and then all of a sudden you hear somebody say something, and it sounds like it, you know, or close to it. I say, what did you just say, you know? And it'll be James, and he'll say, oh, I just said foible, and you said, is that how it's pronounced? I thought it was feeble. Or whatever. No, but it's whatever.
It's hard to get that one wrong in English.
And anyway, but it's a thing where the thing is, you can decide on yourself and make and assume wrong, and yet the longer it stays that way in your usage and whatever, it just, and nobody corrects you, or I mean, that's just the way it is, and that's the way it belongs, and it's been proper to you to do that, and then all of a sudden it breaks up your whole idea of the way things should be. And so it's good, really, to take a look at the dictionary if you're not quite sure of pronunciation.
Well, I probably should, but you know, I don't. I just. I mean, I. If I'm going to read a book a day, I can't possibly.
I can't even read a book in.
Well, that's because you're going to the dictionary.
No. It's because I'm just a slow reader.
Okay.
It might be because you're going to the dictionary. Right now, I'm going through Agatha Christie in Dutch, and I take both approaches. So
you're going through Agatha Christie.
So it's 11 Agatha Christie books in Dutch. And
in Dutch?
In Dutch, and I get the original. And so what I do is, see, the mystery pulls you along. It's good to get these sorts of things, because the story will pull you along, right? So often you get bogged down if you're just reading some literature or stuff like that. And so, but what I'll do is I'll start, I'll go through it at a real fast clip, relatively fast clip. Definitely not as fast as English. But then I'll start with it, going through it, and I don't have to look up the dictionary, you see, because I'll be going, what's vervelend? Oh, at first I thought it was boring. And ennui, I think we get our word annoy from it. You see how ennui, though, is boredom, right? And so I eventually realized, just from context, that it was more like annoying, vervelend, not so much boring. But so I was doing it like what Pauline does, right? Just picking it up by context. But what I do ultimately is I start it up. I'll get maybe halfway through, or a quarter of the way through, and I'll start reading it carefully. But it'll just be like word for word. Every word I've got to be able to explain. Now, they do change from one translation to another, right? From a translation, from the original to the translation.